Friends, myself Pratham Alban from Worli Cephas Municipal English Secondary School. As we have studied classification of plants, now today we are going to continue with the same chapter. Let's recap what we have studied in the earlier chapter. We have done till the subdivision Thallophyta, as we remember. Let allow me to share the slide with you. Now we have seen the classification of kingdom Plantae. The plant kingdom is divided into two subkingdom, that is subkingdom Cryptogam and the subkingdom Phanerogam. And subkingdom Cryptogam is further divided uh, into three divisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. And Phanerogam is further divided into two types, that is two division, that is Gymnosperm and the Angiosperm. Now these are the classification of the subkingdom of the cryptogams, that is Thallophyta, which we have done in the yesterday's lecture. Then there is a Bryophyta and the Pteridophyta. Okay, we have seen these characteristics of Thallophyta. The first characteristic is Thallophyta mainly grows in water, so that is why they are aquatic in nature. The second characteristic is that plant body, they show a flat plant body, thallus-like structure, and do not have any parts like root, stem, leaves, and flowers. They are soft and fibrous. They are unicellular or multicellular, and they do not show any conducting tissue for water and for food conduction like xylem and phloem. Then the sex organs are unicellular, and there is no zygote formation, and there is a formation of the spores for the reproduction. Then the few of the examples of Thallophytas are Ulva, Spirogyra, Ulothrix, Sargassum, etc. And exceptionally, the fungi like yeast and molds are also included in this group. The Spirogyra, Ulva, Ulothrix, Sargassum are green in color due to the presence of chlorophyll pigment in them, but these fungi do not show any chlorophyll pigment, so they do not perform the photosynthesis. But though they are not showing any green, means they are not having the chlorophyll pigment, then too they are under the group under the division Thallophyta. These are the pictures of the examples of Thallophyta, that is Ulva, Cara, and Spirogyra. Now we will move to the next division, that is Bryophyta. Now let's see the characteristics of division Bryophyta. Now you may have seen a lush green soft carpet on old walls or bricks, rocks in the rainy season. You can see the green color soft carpet has been formed on the walls, bricks, and on rocks in rainy season. That is nothing but that is also under the group of Bryophyta. That plants are also under the group of or division of Bryophyta. Now this group of plant is called amphibians. Amphibians means what? They need both water and the soil, because they grow in moist soil but need water for reproduction. These plants are thalloid, multicellular, and autotrophic. Autotrophic means they can prepare their food by their own, and multicellular means they are made up of many cells. Okay, and thalloid means they are flat in nature. They reproduce by spore formation. The structure of the plant body of bryophytes is flat, ribbon-like, ribbon-like long it is, then without true roots, but false roots are present, means root-like structure is present, but they are not really the roots. Then there's a stem and leaves. So without the true roots, stems and leaves, though they are having these structures, but they are not true root, stems and leaves, but they are a like structure they are having. Instead, they have stem like or leaf-like parts and root-like rhizoids. They do not have specific tissues for conduction of food and water. Examples are moss, funaria, markensia, anthoceros, and brixia. These are the examples of the division Bryophyta. Okay, now you can see here what are the characteristics of Bryophyta. Bryophyta grows in moist soil, need water for reproduction. So as they require both soil as well as water, they are under the group amphibians. So they are the amphibians require soil as well as water. Then the plant body is thalloid, that is flat without true roots, true stems, and the true leaves. Means like root like structure is there, stem like structure, and leaf like structure are there, but they are not true in nature. Rhizoids are present. Now rhizoids are what? False roots are present. Mean the structure is like roots only. Okay, so that they can attach to the substratum. Substratum means to the soil they can, or uh, any of the rock or soil, moist soil, they can be attached wall, so they will get the hold on that. Then their body is flat ribbon like long body they are having. Then they are multicellular. Then lacks true conduction tissues, like there is no xylem and phloem present. Then sex organs are multicellular and they will form the zygote. Zygote is what? There is a when male gamete and female gamete combines together to form the zygote, which will grow into a new individual. Then there is a sexual reproduction also by the spores formation. And examples of this bryophyta are Markensia, Anthoceros, Rixia, etc. So these are the examples of the division Bryophyta. We can see the picture, more picture of this. This is the Funaria. You can see in the picture, this is the structure of Funaria. See how these are the leaf-like structures. Then there is a capsule in which the reproductive organ is there. Then this is the stalk. These are the rhizoids. You can see in the picture. These are the rhizoids. Root-like structure is present. So in Funaria, you can see the leaf-like parts. Then there is a stalk, stem-like stalk. Then there are the rhizoids which are roots-like, but they are not true. Okay, they are not true. There is a capsule also in which the reproductive organs will be present. Again, there is the Markensia. In Markensia also you can see rhizoids are present. Rhizoids are nothing but the false roots. Then leaf-like part is present. Then there is a stalk. You can see here there is a stalk. Then capsule is also there. Okay. Then anthoceros, you can see here, these are the capsule. This there are the rhizoids also present beneath this leaf-like structure. Okay, so they are having the root-like, leaf-like, and the stem-like structures, and also having the capsule in which the reproductive organs will be present. So these are the few of the examples of division Bryophyta, which is amphibian in nature, which require both the soil and water for the reproduction. The example of this division Bryophyta are Funaria, Markensia, and the Anthoceros. Okay. Now next one is Pteridophyta. Now, Pteridophyta, plants from this group have well-developed roots, stem, and leaves, and separate tissues for conduction of water, food, and water, but they do not bear flowers and fruits. They reproduce with the help of spores formed along the back or posterior surface of their leaves. An example of these are fern like Nephrolepis, Marsilia, Teres, Adiantum, Equisitum, Selaginella, Lycopodium, etc. And these plants reproduce asexually by spore formation and sexually by zygote formation. They have a well-developed conducting tissue. Okay, so these are the characteristic of division Pteridophyta. You can see here they are growing on the land, so they are terrestrial. They have true root, true stem, and the true leaves. Their body is very well developed. They are multicellular in nature. They are having the separate conducting tissue for food and water, which are present inside in them for the conduction of the water and food and minerals. The water has been conducted by the xylem, and food and minerals are conducted by the phloem tissues. Then there are the sex organs present, which are multicellular. There is a formation of the zygote. Then asexual reproduction is taken place by the spore formation. Example of this pteridophyta are ferns like Nephrolepis, Marsilia, Pteris, Edientum, Equisetum, Selaginella, Lycopodium, etc. Now we will see the picture of this. See the structure of fern, and the reproductive organs are present in the form of spore. You can see here on the back, on the outward side, or in the on the inward inner side, there are the spore formation. You can see on the leaf these spores are present. You can see this sporangia in which the sori, uh, these are the sora in which the sporangia are present, which are present on the leaflet. Then there is the selaginella and the lycopodium. See the picture of fern, how it looks. They are having on leaf of fern, there are the sporangia present. Then there is this selaginella and the lycopodium. So these are the few examples of the division Pteridophyta. They are having the true roots, true stems, and the true leaf also. Okay. So these are the characteristics of Pteridophyta. Grows on land, so they are terrestrial in nature. They have roots, stem, and leaves. The body is very well developed. They are multicellular. Then separate tissues for conduction of food and water present. Then their sex organs are multicellular. Zygote formation is there, and asexual reproduction is takes place by the spore formation. An example of this division Pteridophyta are forms like Nephrolepis, Marsilia, Pteris, Adiantum, Equisetum, Selaginella, Lycopodium, etc. And these are the this is how the fern look like. They are having the sporangia on their leaflet. Then this is the Selaginella and the Lycopodium. Okay, now we will quickly revise what we have studied in this entire 3 lectures. So pay attention. Now, as we know, you have studied in the earlier lectures that this is the scientist Robert Whittaker who has discovered or who has classified the organisms into 5 kingdoms in the year 1969. Okay, these are the 5 kingdoms: Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Animalia, and Kingdom Mycota. This is the division made by the classification made by the Robert Whittaker in 1969. Okay. Now we will see the criteria on which he has classified the organism. The first criteria is complexity of cell structure, that is whether the cell is prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Then next criteria is complexity of organisms, whether the organism is unicellular, that is single cell, or multicellular, that is made up of many cells. Then their mode of nutrition, as we can see, the plants are the producers, means autotrophic, they can produce their food by their own. Then animals are heterotrophic, means they will depend on other, either plants or on other animals. Then saprophytic, that is fungi, they will depend on the dead and decaying of the other organisms. Okay, we can see here lifestyle of these organisms. The plants are producer, produce the food. Consumers are consuming on, depend on others for the food. And fungi also depend on other for the food, like saprophyte. They absorb the food from the dead and decaying of the other organisms. Okay? And also there is a phylogenetic relationship, that is from prokaryote to eukaryotic and unicellular to the multicellular. Then you can see the structure of the cell, that is eukaryote and the prokaryote. You can see here in eukaryotic cell, it is the complex one. We can see your mitochondria and the endoplasmic reticulum is there, but in prokaryote, there is no such cell organelles will be differentiate. Okay. Now, first is the kingdom Monera. We have seen the characteristics of kingdom Monera, in which the characteristic of Monera are all the organisms are unicellular. They may be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Then these are prokaryotic cells without distinct nucleus or cell organelles. Then there is the kingdom Protista, and the characteristics are Protista single cell organism. This is the structure of Euglena with well-defined nucleus enclosed in the nuclear membrane. As we can see here, this nucleus has been covered with the wall, and that is known as the nuclear membrane. They have pseudopodia or hair-like flagella for the locomotion. We can see here a hair-like structure. One flagella is there. This is known. This is made for locomotion of the organism. Then autotrophic. They are either autotrophic or the heterotrophic. And examples of autotrophs are Euglena, Volvax, which contains the chloroplast pigment, and heterotrophs are amoeba and the paramecium. Then there is the another kingdom, that is kingdom fungi, and the characteristics of kingdom fungi are, these are the non-green eukaryotic heterotrophic organisms, and most of them are saprophytic, that is they feed upon decaying organic matter, and their cell wall is made up of turf and complex sugar called the chitin. And some fungi are thread-like, and many nuclei are present in the cytoplasm. And examples of this kingdom fungi are Baker's cyst, Aspergillus, fungus. Aspergillus is the fungus which present on the corn, then penicillium and the mushroom. Okay. And the next kingdom that is we have studied in detail, that is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. Now the group of autotrophic living organisms having eukaryotic cells with cell walls is the group of plants, and these plants have become autotrophic as they can perform photosynthesis with the help of chlorophyll, and living organisms of kingdom Plantae are the main source of food for all other living organisms. So these are the characteristics of kingdom Plantae. Now this is the kingdom Animalia, the group of heterotrophic living organisms having eukaryotic cells without cell wall is the group of animals. Okay, they depend on others for their food, so they are heterotrophic, and they will for their main source of food is other plants or the animals. This is the table of five kingdoms together. We have studied this in the earlier lectures also. There are the five kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. The number of cells present in Moneras, only there is a single cell, that is unicellular. Protista unicellular or multicellular. Then in fungi, unicellular, multicellular. Plants are multicellular and animals are also multicellular. Then type of cell present in Monera only there is a prokaryotic cell, and in rest of the kingdoms there are the eukaryotic cells are present. And about the tissue in Monera, the tissues are they do not have tissue. Tissues are absent, so they are without tissue. In Protista also tissues are absent. In kingdom fungi, tissues are absent. In plants and in animals, tissues are present. The mode of nutrition, Moneras are either autotrophic or heterotrophic, and in Protista also they are either autotrophic or the heterotrophic. In fungi they are heterotrophic, depends on other for their food. In plants, they are autotrophic, and animals they are heterotrophs. An example of this kingdom Monera is bacteria. Protista is algae or protozoa. In fungi, the examples are yeast, mold, fungi that forms the mushroom, then plants, moss, ferns, plants with flowers, then animals, invertebrates, and the vertebrates. Now, kingdom Plantae, which are the special cell organelles that differentiate plant cell from the animal cells, as we have studied this. Eukaryotic cells with the cell wall. In animals, cell wall is not present. They have the ability of performing the photosynthesis, as there is a chlorophyll pigment are present which impart green color to the plant, as well as takes part in the photosynthesis with the help of the sunlight, and they are the main source of food for all living organisms. These are the basis of classification on which the kingdom Plantae has been further classified. The first is presence or absence of organs. Then next is presence or absence of separate conducting tissues. Then whether the seeds are present or absent, and if seeds are present, they are enclosed in fruits, means covered with fruits or not. Then the number of cotyledons, that is single cotyledon is present or double cotyledon is there. Single cotyledon, as we have discussed yesterday, that is monocot. They do not they are having a single cotyledon, so we cannot divide them into a two half. And dicot are the with the two cotyledons, like peas or pulses, grains. We can divide them into a two equal half. And in a higher plants, it depends on absence or presence of flowers, fruits, and seeds. This is the classification of kingdom Plantae. The plant kingdom majorly divided into two subkingdoms, which are those cryptogams, means plants without flowers, those plants in which reproductive organs are not visible, that is not arranged in flower-like structure. This is the characteristic of subkingdom cryptogam. And the next subkingdom is phanerogam, that is plants with flower-like structure or flower, and those plants in which reproductive organs are arranged in flower or flower-like structure. This cryptogams, which is further divided into three divisions, those are division Thallophyta, division Bryophyta, and the division Pteridophyta. Okay, so these are the three divisions which have seen of subkingdom cryptogams. Those are Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and the Pteridophyta. Okay, now these are the characteristic of Thallophyta. Now Thallophyta mainly grows in water, so they are aquatic in nature. Thallophyta are mainly grows in water. They require the water for their growth. So they are aquatic in nature. The plant body is thallus. You can see here flat body they are having. And they do not have parts like root, stem, leaves, and flowers. Their body is soft and fibrous. How is the body? Soft and fibrous. They are unicellular or multicellular. They are either single cell or consist of many cells. So their body is unicellular or multicellular. Then there is a lacks of conducting tissues. Now, which are the conducting tissue? Conducting tissues are xylem and phloem. What does the xylem conduct? Xylem conduct the water and phloem conduct the, what does the phloem conduct? Food and the minerals. Now, how does xylem work? Xylem work in the upward direction only. They will absorb the water from the soil and flow that water or absorb their water in upward direction only, so that the plants will get the water for the growth. Yes, they are having, now we have seen the plants are having roots which are fixed in the soil, so that from the soil they can absorb the water with the help of the tissues, and that water with the help of the capillary action goes in the upward direction, and they show the unidirectional flow, means can flow in the one direction only. Okay. And phloem shows the both the direction, they will flow in both the direction, like food and minerals have to be reach to each and every part of the plant body. Now where does they get the food? They will the plants will get the food by the process of photosynthesis. As we know, the chlorophyll, that is green pigment which is known as chlorophyll, is present in the plants, which also imparts the green color, and this pigment takes parts in the photosynthesis. So with the help of sunlight, photo means sunlight, so that with the help of that they will prepare the food, and where in the green part of the plants prepare the food, and then it should be transported, to the each and every part of the plant body. This is how the conducting tissues works. So thallophyte lacks the conduction tissues. Okay, they do not have the separate conducting tissues. Then the sex organs are unicellular. There is no formation of the zygote. Now, zygote is formed by the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ combines together. The gamete will combines together to form the zygote. Zygote at earlier stage of the when we are talking about the plant, the earlier stage of the seed formation, so that after that the seed will be developed, and that seed will develop into a new plant. So there is no such formation in the thallophyta, but there is a formation of the spores which will take part in the reproduction. Now examples of division thallophyta are ulva, spirogyra, urethrax, sargassum. So these are the few of the example which are of the kingdom Thallophyta, and these are green in color, so can make their own food. But there are exceptional like fungi, like yeast and molds also included in this group, but they are non-green plants, means they will not take part in photosynthesis. Then too they are included in the division Thallophyta. These are the pictures of the example of the Thallophyta ulva. This is the Cara, and this is the Spirogyra. You can see the structure of Spirogyra, how the cytoplasm is arranged spirally in the Spirogyra. This is the spiral structure you can see is nothing but the chloroplast. Spiral chloroplast. They are having the characteristic of the cell of the plants, that cells are having the cell wall. You can see here there is a cell wall. In animals, there is no cell wall, but in plant cells, the cell wall is present. You can see here the nucleus, and these are the Pyrenoids. So these are a few of the examples of the division: Thallophyta, Ulva, Chara, and the Spirogyra. The next one we have studied, that is Bryophyta. Now, what are the characteristics of Bryophyta? They usually require both soil as well as water for reproduction. So they are amphibian in nature. Why they are amphibian? Because they require soil, means land, as well as water for their reproduction. So they are amphibian in nature. Now, Thallophyta is how it is. They are aquatic in nature. Why? Because they require only water. And here in Bryophyta, they require soil as well as water. So they are amphibian in nature. Their plant body is also thalloid or without true roots, true stem, and true leaves. Rhizoids are present. These rhizoids are root-like structure, not the roots, but root-like structures. Their body is flat, ribbon-like, and long body they are having. How is the body? Flat, ribbon-like, long body. Okay. They are multicellular, means made up of composed of many cells. They lack true conduction tissue. True conducting tissue means the xylem and phloems are not present. Lacks mean they do not have the true conduction tissues. The sex organs are multicellular. Okay, and there is a formation of the zygote, and asexual reproduction takes place by the spores formation. An example of division Bryophyta are Markensia, Anthoceros, and Rixia. These are the examples of the division Bryophyta. We will see a few of the examples again. Funaria. See how the funaria looks like. There is a leaf-like part, rhizoids, that is root-like. The rhizoids are there. Then stalk is there, stem-like structure is there. And then there is a capsule in which the reproductive organs are present. Then there is a Markensia. Okay, then Anthoceros is there. You can see here Anthoceros, Funaria, Markensia, Anthoceros. So these are the few of the examples of the division Bryophyta. Now we will move towards the next division, that is division Pteridophyta. Now what is the first characteristic of division Pteridophyta? The first one is they grows on land, so they are terrestrial in nature. So for their growth they require what? Land. So they are terrestrial. Okay, they have roots, true stems, and leaves. What they have? They have the true roots, true stem, and the true leaves. The body is very well developed. They are multicellular in nature. Multicellular means made up of many cells. They are having a separate tissues for conduction of food and water are present. Means xylem and phloem are present for the conduction of food and water. For conducting the food, phloem is present, and for the conduction of water, what is present? Xylem is present. So xylem conducting the water, phloem conducting the food and the minerals. Then sex organs are multicellular, means made up of many cells. Then there is a formation of the zygote. There is the formation of the zygote. Then asexual reproduction by the spores formation. The asexual reproduction is formed by the spore formation. And examples of this Pteridophyta are ferns like Nephrolepis, Marsilea, Pteris, Adiantum, Equisetum, Selaginella, and the Lycopodium. So these are the examples of the division Pteridophyta. This is the fern, how the fern looks like. They are having the sporangia on their leaf. Then there is a Selaginella, and this is the Lycopodium. So these are the few of the examples of the division Pteridophyta, which are those fern, Selaginella, and the Lycopodium. Okay, how they look like, see the structure, see the picture. They are having this pose for the reproduction. Okay. Now we will quickly recap all the three division. This is the classification of subkingdom Cryptogam. There are three divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and the Pteridophyta. You can take the screenshot of this so that it will be easy for you to remember this, the characteristic of all the three divisions. So kingdom Plantae are mainly divided into how many kingdom subkingdom? Two subkingdom, Cryptogams and the Phanerogam. Okay, and Cryptogam are further divided into three divisions, which are those Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and the Pteridophyta. Okay, now let's see the habitat of it. Thallophyta are mainly grows in water, so they are aquatic in nature. You can see here Thallophyta. How is their habitat? They mainly grows in water, so they are aquatic in nature. In Bryophyta, they grows in moist soil, so need water for reproduction, so they are amphibians. Pteridophyta, they grows on land, so they are terrestrial. So see the difference between these three divisions. They are aquatic, Thallophyta are aquatic, Bryophyta are amphibians, require both water and the soil. Then Pteridophyta are terrestrial, they grows on the land. Okay, aquatic, Thallophyta, amphibians, Bryophyta, and terrestrial Pteridophyta. Now let's see the body type of first division, that is Thallophyta. The plant body is thallus, do not have parts like root, stem, leaves, and flowers. And next is soft. The body is soft and fibrous, and they are either unicellular or the multicellular. In Bryophyta, the body type is thalloid. They do not have true roots, true stem, and true leaves. The body is flat ribbon-like, long body they are having, and they are multicellular. In Pteridophyta, they are having true root, stems, and leaves, and their body is very well developed, and they composed of many cells. That is why multicellular. Okay, you can see here in the first one, they do not have the, in first division, that is in Thallophyta, they do not have parts like root, stem, leaves, and flowers. But in Bryophyta, they are having false root, stems, and leaves. But in Pteridophyta, they are showing the true roots, stems, and leaves. Okay, here the body is soft and fibrous. Here the body is ribbon-like, flat, and in Pteridophyta, the body is very well developed. Thallophyta is either unicellular or multicellular. Bryophyta is multicellular, and Pteridophyta is also multicellular. Then vascular tissue, that is presence of xylem and phloem tissues. In Thallophyta, they lacks conduction tissue. Conduction tissue like xylem and phloems are absent. In Bryophyta, conduction tissues, true conduction tissues are absent, but like root like rhizoids are present. So false conducting tissues are present, means they are looking like the conducting tissues, but they are not having the actual characteristic of that. Then pteridophyte, separate tissues for conduction of food, that is phloem and water, that is xylem, are present. For the conduction of water, xylem is there, and for the conduction of food and minerals, phloem tissues are there. Okay. Then sex organs. In Thallophyta, sex organs are unicellular. There is no formation of the zygote, means like male gamete and the female gamete will not combine to form the zygote, and the spores form. Spores, there is the formation of the spores for the reproduction. Okay. Then in next division, that is Bryophyta, sex organ are multicellular. Then zygote formation is there. There is sexual reproduction also, and the asexual reproduction also there. So sexual reproduction is takes place by the zygote formation, and asexual reproduction is by the spore formation. Okay. In Pteridophyta, sex organs are multicellular. There is also the zygote formation is there, and the asexual reproduction by the spores formation. Okay. Now we will see the example of this. Thallophyta, the examples are Ulva, Cara, Spirogyra, Eulothrix, Sargassum, etc. And fungi like yeast and molds also included in these groups. In Bryophyta, the examples are moss, Marchantia, Anthoceros, and Brixia, etc. So these are the examples of Bryophyta. And which are the examples of Pteridophyta? Ferns like Nephrolepis, Marsalia, Pteris, Adiantum, Equisitum, Selaginella, Lycopodium, etc. So this is the example of Pteridophyta. So what we have studied in this entire lecture, we have studied the five kingdoms which is being proposed by the scientist Robert Whittaker in 1969. He has classified the uh, organisms into five kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, kingdom Plantae, and the kingdom Animalia. We have discussed about we have studied in details the plant kingdom. Now plant kingdom is further divided into two subkingdoms, which are those cryptogams and the phanerogams. Then these cryptogams are further divided into three divisions, which are those division Thallophyta, division Bryophyta, and the division Pteridophyta. And we have also studied the basis on which, or the criteria on which, the classification has been carried out. Okay. So this is the assignment for you. The first question is, why are bryophyta called as amphibians? Now, what will be the answer? Why the bryophytes are called as amphibians? Because they require soil as well as water for the reproduction. So they are known as the amphibians. Now, the next question is, find the similarities between the Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. So you are going to find out the similarity between these three divisions. You can use the take the screenshot of it and find out the similarities, not the differences. Similarities you are going to find out from this three divisions. Then you are going to write the five examples of Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. So you are going to write five examples of each of the division: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and the Pteridophyta. Okay. Then also there is a fourth question. Write the criteria on which plants are being classified. Okay, you are going to write the criteria on which the plant kingdom has been classified further. Okay, so you can please take the screenshot of this assignment. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Take the screenshot of it. Okay, I hope you have taken the screenshot of it. There are the 4 questions. So first, I have tell you the answer. For the second question, you can Okay, you can take the screenshot of this table also, so that you can find out the answer from this. Take the screenshot of this table also, so that it will be easy to you to find out the answer from this table. Like what are the similarities between the division Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and also you will get the examples to write. Taken the screenshot. Okay, and take the screenshot of this. These are the these are the criteria for the classification of plants, so you can write the classification, basis of classification. The fourth last question, the criteria for classification of plants, you can write the answer from this. Okay. Now we will stop here only. Thanks for joining. So we have done till the subkingdom Cryptogam and all the three divisions Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. In the next lecture, you will be studying about the second subkingdom, that is subkingdom Phanerogam. Okay, thanks for joining the lecture.